Hello and welcome back. This is Mrs. Chrome and this is part 2 of our Computer Skills and Application Introduction to Spreadsheets. We talked about this yesterday just a little bit, but we're going to go into a little further detail today and share a few extra things. We will start with a brief review. A couple things to remember when you are watching a video. Feel free to replay, rewatch, and or pause the video anytime you have questions or simply just don't understand something. Also, this is a me assignment, not a we one, which means that you should be silent when you are working. You will have time after class or after you're finished with the assignment to talk with your peers, but at this time, whenever you're watching the video, you should not be talking whatsoever. Make sure you have your headphones on as well, because with several computers, it's just not good to listen to everyone playing out loud at the same time. Our essential questions we talked about yesterday are those big ideas about spreadsheets. How do spreadsheets serve as a tool to organize data? We're going to talk more about that today and how it can help with the decision-making process. Again, our learning target today, here's what you will do. You will understand the basics of spreadsheets. We are going to re-explore the anatomy of a spreadsheet and learn some more basic vocabulary terms. We will also examine various functions and tools of a spreadsheet. You're going to open one up and we will practice manipulating and working with the spreadsheets as well. I told you I always think it's important to talk about the purpose of what we're learning. Again, spreadsheets, they really do help so much manipulate and organize and analyze and present data or information. So this was certainly a tool that's going to help you out in the future. A brief review, I wanted to take just a moment and go over what we covered yesterday or a while ago. A spreadsheet, again, is just an arrangement of cells and rows and columns that help you organize, analyze, and calculate information in numerical form. Some people call it a workbook. Again, a workbook contains several spreadsheets. Several programs are Excel, Numbers, and Google. Again, I'm not going to go into a lot of details because we did discuss this yesterday. Spreadsheet terms, I did want to go back over one more time about a cell. A cell is the individual little box that you see right here. So if you were to identify a cell, you would look at the column first, which is identified by letters B and 2, B2. So that's where you see the word cell. I tell you once again, think about rows are horizontal. If you go to a stadium, any kind of stadium or auditorium, you sit in rows. They are horizontal. Columns are vertical. So columns stand up straight and they hold up buildings. So think about columns are vertical, rows are horizontal. That's a little trick how you can remember that. So let's learn something new about spreadsheets. As I said, I just wanted to have a brief overview from yesterday. So some new vocabulary terms. I'm not going to make you take notes today, but I do want you to listen and pay attention closely while we go over this. Cell data is just information that's typed in the cell, and it's categorized basically by two different things, or really three. First is a label. A label is used for cells that contain text or that are numbers that will not be used in calculations. For instance, an address has a number in it, but you would never add up addresses. So a value is something that you're going to add, multiply, divide, you're going to do something with. It indicates that data has the potential to be used in calculations. So it's either a label or a value, or you can have a formula, and a formula is going to have an equal sign. We'll talk more about formulas later, but just know that formulas will help you add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Again, we'll break those out in further detail a little later. So justification is similar to Microsoft Word. It's the exact same thing. You can left, right, or center align the information, whether it's labels or values, within a cell. So if something's left aligned, it's going to be on the left-hand side. Labels are automatically left aligned. Values are right aligned, which is typically your numbers. Indent, sometimes you will indent within a cell. That's more rare. I like to center align. We're talking about your horizontal alignment, but you can also center left, right, or you can justify whether you're going left, right, or center align. That's horizontal. You can also do top or bottom or center aligned if you're going to do your vertical justification. You can also wrap information. You can wrap cells. We're going to practice doing that in a little bit as well. You can merge cells into one. The column width is adjusted to fit the longest entry. You can adjust how wide a cell is, however you need it, so that you can see everything. Borders and shading, again, that's used to highlight or draw attention to a particular cell. So if you really need somebody to hone in and look at a particular cell, then you would want to put a border around it or shade it, which is to highlight it. So your operations of a spreadsheet, they're used to increase the efficiency of data entry while performing calculations and the presentation of information. So we're going to sort some information today. It's used to arrange it alphabetically or chronologically. So a primary sort means you're going to first sort one way and then you can sort a second way. Like sometimes I'll sort by class and then I sort by last name and then I sort by first name. So you can have several different sorts if you want to. Ascending and descending. Ascending would be like ABC, 1, 2, 3. Descending is ZYX or 3, 2, 1. So it's going up or going down. It's also important sometimes to freeze panes. Again, I'm going to show you how to do this. If you wanted to freeze the top row so that you could scroll down and not have to go up and down every time, that is very helpful. And filtering data, you can basically weed out the information that you need so that you don't have to look through a really big spreadsheet, which I'm going to show you today how you can filter information. So let's practice a little bit. I want you're going to leave. You can leave this up in the side of your screen if you want, but we're going to go and open the Google Classroom now. So I'm going to minimize this, or attempt to rather. If you go to your Google Classroom, I'm going to show you how, if you want to have the Google Classroom up, I'll show you how you can pull up this spreadsheet and then also have the video showing in the left-hand side of your screen as well, just as practice. So you have several tabs up here at the top. I am back at the Google Classroom right now. You have at the top an assignment that says Student Copy of Attendance Log Responses Fall 2015. I want you to click on the title of that. When you do so, a second screen will pop up that will say Your Work, but eventually you'll click that again, and then this page will pop up. So we're actually going to be working in this spreadsheet. I just made a copy of the attendance log that I take every single day. So we're going to be looking at this. If you want, what I would do is you can minimize this screen if you would like. I'm going to move it over right here so that you can see. If you had like a YouTube video, let's say this one, I have one up right here. I don't want it talking because that's one from earlier. If you have a YouTube video up, which is the video that you're watching right now, what I like to do is I slide this over and make it as small as I can and still see the video. You can even do it this way if you like, however you want, so that you can still see the video. I'll kind of play with it. And then you can come over here and make your screen as large as you need to. So now I can work over here and you can watch the video right here. Makes life a little easier. Again, this was a video from yesterday, but the video that you are watching right now, if you want to put in the corner right here, you can, and you can have your worksheet over here. So again, what I had up just a moment ago, let me pull it up so I can see it. I already lost it. What's this? I'm going to do the exact same thing right here. Make it a little smaller so that we can see what's happening. There we go. That's kind of teeny tiny, but I can still see it. Now, I have everything that I am going to do step by step. So somewhere you have open now the student copy of the attendance log, and it's a large spreadsheet. It is massive. If you scroll all the way down, you will see that there are 3,346 rows to this, which is crazy. We're going to go through and just edit this spreadsheet and kind of play with it. I want you to practice doing the same thing with me. So the first thing is to identify values versus labels. So in here, there really aren't any values because there's nothing that we're going to add up, but there are labels, which are like, this label is the time, it has numbers in it, but I would never add up dates or anything like that. The class, just because it has numbers in it, it's still a label. The next thing is the justification. I like to do this. I'm going to take, if you want to just do individual or something like just the top row, and I wanted to center it, I can click number 1, go over here and hit center aligned. That would work. I could also, here's the vertical alignment. I could click that as well. If you don't see that up here, there usually you can edit it up here as well. There are tools, say edit, view. You can look at all these different options up here. Format, you can tell by the alignment here. Format, align, left, center, right, top, middle, bottom. I like to do it easy. Just click the top left hand little square that's beside the A and the number 1. It highlights everything. And then I make everything centered. I make everything vertically center aligned, and we're good to go. I also like to bold the first row. So again, I'm going to hit number 1. I'm going to hit bold. Feel free to pause this video anytime that you're doing this if I am going too fast. Another thing that I want to do is I want to freeze row 1. So if I click on row 1, again number 1, and I say format, there's different ways. I'm going to say view, freeze, number 1. And that's going to freeze number 1. So look, when I scroll, number 1 never moves. I can still see what's happening. I can also, number 4 says readjust the width of various columns. I can make this really wide or really small. If I highlight all of them, I can make them all teeny tiny, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to hit undo because I want it back the way that it was. So you can adjust any size. If you notice, like this one's not, it needs to be wider, so I could make that row wider if I needed to. Now we're going to filter the data and find only your name. So the first thing that I would do if I was doing this is, you know what class you're in. I would do this. I would click the entire spreadsheet. I'm going to go up here to tools, or well, hold on, data, sorry. We're going to go to data and we're going to click filter. When we do that, these little drop down boxes come up. Under the class period, we're going to see what class period you're in. Let's say that you are in 8th A. Okay, so there are a couple here that you could pick from. I am going to actually clear all of these so that it's not selecting any of them. I'll scroll down, and there are 2 8th A's, this one and this one. I'm going to click both and say OK. When I do that, now I notice only 8th A is here. The next option I'm going to do is I'm going to find just my name. So I'm going to go over here to the 8th A column, and I'm going to clear all of these because I don't need any of those. I want to find just my name, Miss Chrome, and I'm going to say OK. I'm only in there twice, so sad. So what I want to do now is I am going to create a new worksheet and copy and paste this into that new worksheet. So down here at the bottom where it says form responses, we can rename that. We'll rename that, let's see, original, we'll just call it like that. And then we're going to add a sheet right beside it. Slowly, here it comes. Sheet 2. And then I'm going to rename this to my attendance. There we go. Now on the original one, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to highlight right here. I'm going to right click and say copy. You might have to say allow. Go to my attendance. I'm going to click right here, right click and say paste. And there it shows. So now I know how long I've been here. If I wanted to sort this different ways, I could sort it. I could, there's only 2 here, but if I wanted to sort, I could select the whole thing. I could go to tools or data. We're going to sort. I'm going to say the data has a header row, which is that top part. I'm going to say I want to sort it first by the class period, descending, and then I'm going to add a column, and then I'm going to say next by 8th A student, just ascending, it's just my name. And we're good, and you can see nothing really changed there because I didn't have a lot of information there. But if you wanted to sort, that is exactly how you would do it. So now you can see how many days you've been at school. Now, a quick way I could see is it's on row 3 is the last day, but row 1 doesn't count. So that means I've been at school 2 days. Obviously, I've been here more than that. If I wanted to count, I could do this. 1. Ooh, sorry, guys. I dropped my microphone. I don't know if you heard that. 1, 2. Let's say I had been here several days. If I highlight 1 and 2, there's a little box in the right-hand corner. I can hit plus and pull all the way down. It will count for me. It's the most beautiful thing ever. I think that's a tool that I use often. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. But if you want